Hey guys, it's Jim here, and today we're going to be talking about my 1990 Orville by Gibson Les Paul Custom. And it's quite the guitar, but it's not the first one I've had, so I'm going to tell you why I liked it so much originally that I rebought this one. Now this guitar was made in a Terada factory, some of them were made in the Fujigen factory. This is an Orville by Gibson, meaning it doesn't have a poly finish on it. It has Bill Lawrence, the original humbuckers, which are very interesting because it's actually a circuit board humbucker. I'm going to show you a picture on the screen. However, after really getting to know them, they're very good. They're not what you would expect from a Les Paul custom style instrument. You're used to the 490s and those kinds of ones that are really hot and stuff like that. But these have a very, very, very good note separation quality to them. There's a lot of articulation and definition in them, especially playing clean. And I tried to show that in the demos. I think they sound fantastic. However, not every Orville by Gibson came with the Bill Lawrence pickups. Some of them just had Gibson 57 Classics, which are good enough in their own right too. They're what I have in the 339. And one thing that all three of the Orvilles that I've had, the one regular Orville and the two Orville by Gibsons, that really separate them in my eyes, considering the price points versus the Epiphones and other kind of lower end brands, stuff like that, this one feels like a high quality Gibson. When I had in that Epiphone, the blue one, it didn't feel great. It felt like a very mediocre guitar just by comparison to this. Like when I sit with this feels correct. This feels like I'm playing a very nice, very expensive, very well crafted instrument, whereas with the Epiphone there's nothing particularly wrong with it, but that's just been my general experience with Epiphones. However, I do one day want to play one of the Epiphones that was made in the Fujigen factory, and I believe that was when they were transitioning out of the Orville brand. They changed it to Epiphone on the headstock. Very, very popular guitars as well. Never had one of those in, but I'd be interested to try. But when we're talking about, the lower price points of guitars, when you consider that this isn't exactly a cheap guitar. The cheapest you're going to find one of these stateside is anywhere from $1,200 all the way up to $3,000. I've seen some of them sell for, because they come with varying specifications. Like this one has the rosewood fretboard. It's a very dark slab of it, but it's not ebony. Some of them came with ebony. I've seen them before. I actually just missed an opportunity to buy a black one that had an ebony fingerboard. I missed it by a day. And also, this one doesn't have the nibs. Some of them came with the nibs. I don't know, and to some people, that's a real collector's item kind of thing. Obviously, these guitars are out of production and have been for almost 20 years, actually more than 20 years at this point. So finding them in this country is a little more hard than in other countries. However, there are a lot of these made for Japan and the Asian market. So you can find them. You just have to be willing to either take the risk buying it from overseas sight unseen, which is kind of what I did, or get lucky and you're going to pay a little bit more by buying one that's already stateside. However, if you're in the market for one of these guitars, you should be asking two questions, in my opinion. First of all, you want to see all the internals of the electronics. It's not hard. They can literally just pop off the pickups, and you'll be able to see exactly where they were, whether they're the Japanese-made PAFs, the Bill Lawrence. But a good way to tell if they're the Bill Lawrence pickups, they have much bigger screws. right here holding in the pickup itself, or if they're the Gibson Classics, the 57 Classics. This has Goto, really nice hardware on it. No complaints there, guys. This just really captures what a Les Paul is supposed to be, and I'm a big fan of Japanese guitars. I have several Japanese Fenders, including a vintage Japanese Stratocaster, and it's just, they get it right. They really do get it right. And if you can live without the Gibson headstock, even though it says Gibson on this headstock, I don't know. I don't really see the bigger benefit unless you're looking at it as an investment piece, or you just really have the money to spare here to having a higher-end Gibson versus this. And I've had a few really high-end Gibsons and a few low-end Gibsons too, Les Pauls. And right now I currently have a limited edition ES Les Paul that is fantastic. It's to die for, made in Memphis. But as far as the build quality and everything else goes, there's no real difference between this and any of the Les Pauls I've had, to the fact that I don't feel like I'm missing something playing this. When I play the Harley Benton guitar, I don't get the Les Paul experience at all from any of them, because quite frankly, none of them are really like Les Pauls. They have much flatter radiuses, really shreddery next to them. I mean, the aesthetic is kind of there, but they don't really capture the feel that you want when you really want to dig into a Les Paul. And the Epiphones, I don't know how else to say this. I've never played an Epiphone that I liked, actually liked. I've always played Epiphones and just thought, not even as good as, Les Paul Studios that I've had before in the past. That's just me and my personal opinion, and knowing that you're always going to take a bath on those unless you get a really good deal used. On top of that, I steer clear of that brand for that. Whereas with this one, for a few more bucks, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. And for that peace of mind and just my playability and my happiness, it's worth it to me. That's going to be where I'm going to leave you guys today. This is a perfect way for a Les Paul. Leave a like if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about these guitars. Let me know if you are okay with playing any other Les Paul shaped or style guitar that doesn't say Gibson on the headstock. Does it bother you? Because I know some people that it really makes the biggest difference. They could play a guitar that would be better blindfolded, but if they took off the blindfold and saw it didn't say Gibson on the headstock, they would change their tune pretty quick. It's just, I don't know, man. People are weird like that. Other than that, hit subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for another guitar-related video. Take it easy, you guys.